public meeting to order. It's the Moretown Selectboard. It's Monday, November 3rd. Here's the John Hogan Selectboard, the John Hogan meeting room. Salute, John. So we'll get started with public comment, and we'll check, and there's no one on except for Orca online. I don't think they're commenting on anything. So I know, Mr. Stefan, why don't you roll on up, Stefan?
And I believe you are muted right now.
Oh, shut. Yeah, thank you. So I have opened the meeting as far as on mute. We have opened the meeting, and Stefan's here for open comments. So.
I submitted a couple quotes for some fire gear from Reynolds and Sons and MES equipment. And I was just hoping to, get the graces of the board to get something ordered. I know we're coming up, the ending of the, trying to get things for the end of the year.
Yeah, now was that gear that we were gonna just pay for, or did that, was the stuff that we had voted through was on it?
It was, we just decided it was just something we were gonna pay for. I don't remember, we talked about it briefly when I was in the time.
Right.
It was,
Cheryl, and I think this was last year, remember we were gonna put in an article for, it should be in the meeting notes here somewhere, for gear.
Scuba gear?
Scuba gear.
not the regular fire gear. I asked last year about, an article for it, and then the board decided, my understanding was that it was just gonna be something that was gonna come somewhere in the budget.
Yeah, no, I know, for some reason I thought it was scuba gear, whatever it is.
SCBA.
SCBA gear as well. Does anyone else recall that?
I don't know, I can't recall now, but.
But Cheryl, I mean, we did have that conversation.
Yes, we did.
All right, can we just kind of follow up with that? We have Stefan's quotes. Make sure, Sasha, if you could go back and just look in the meeting minutes, just make sure we're on the same page. If it's not, if for some reason we're not, we can fix that, so staying in the same ballpark, but I just want to make sure that everything's lined up what we're saying we're doing, and I'm not getting into doubt with what you're saying, but just for some reason I had it as scuba gear as well in my mind. But we'll take a look at that. But I think two things of scuba gear is actually more expensive than two things of this anyways.
So
I think this was around, what, 6,000 a piece, was that?
For the SCBA, it was right around that, I feel like, but this is a little bit cheaper than that. So both quotes were under $10,000, which was kind of the number that I was gonna ask for.
Right.
And can I at least give you like my input on it so that it,
Oh, actually, let me just, so I did see the email, I read it, and when you said that there was very little difference between the two. When did you send that?
Good question.
Almost $1,000 cheaper at Reynolds.
Correct.
Sasha, did you have, what that email was sent in front, or I thought you were looking at it. I was looking at what you were looking at. All right, that's fine, thanks. So what did you want to say about Stefan?
So between the two, we've historically used Reynolds and Sons because they've been the Vermont company and the better deal. And it's a product that matches up with what we have. And their total was $93.52.18, and the other quote I got was for, it would be $9. They added tax in for some reason, I don't know why.
MES or was?
Yeah, MES added it in, so it would have been $10,230, but before tax it was $9,651, which is still more.
$300, right?
Right, but it makes sense in my eyes to go with what we have already with the local guys. So I just want to make, that known, and, hopefully we can get it figured out to get it ordered before the end of.
Oh, yeah, I mean, think there's any problem with that. Like I said, we already committed it, because we spoke to, it was the finance committee, I think, that suggested that we just go ahead and pay for it, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it would, we can't just go with the company anyway, because it's over 5,000, we'd have to put it out for bid.
Yeah, well, that's what we got.
So, yeah, no, I did talk to a third company, but they still, it's been almost a month and they haven't.
Yeah,
gotten
no, I
back
think
to me.
as long as we're making those efforts, I'd really like to see 2, and I think even our policy releases 2 is probably fine. But we'd like to ask for 3, or if you can get more.
Right.
You know, more competition is better. But I think
It gives some comparison, at least, so we know that we're not, getting hosed by one company or another.
No, I think it's fair. I mean, I think everyone needs to make a buck. And as long as you're getting good service and you feel like you're getting good service as well,
Yes, absolutely.
I think it would be fair to go with them. And unless there's any other questions, I think, I'm sure I'll let you know that she's covered or not, but more, they'll give you the PO for it. I just wanted to look back and make sure it was the same conversation that we had. If not, we'll have to just, but we can still, I'm sure, get it done by the end of the year.
Okay, that works.
That's it. Kevin, you're all good with that?
Yeah.
Yep, sounds good.
All right.
Okay, that works, that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Stefan. Anything else we have for Stefan? Any quick questions you had, fire department question?
Now's your chance.
Yeah.
Animal control, Western
Yeah.
Fire Department, emergency management. Going once, twice sold.
Yeah, I think so. I think, I know we had some, there's some budget stuff. Once we get through, I have some questions on some of your stuff or whatever, but we'll go over that once we get everything through, and then we'll either have you back or I'll just reach out to you.
Okay, that works.
All right.
Excellent, have a good night.
Yep. That's it.
See ya.
Mr. Ray Washburn.
Good evening, everybody.
How you doing? So Ray sent us an email, or I don't know if Ray sent it or maybe saw, did you send an email today?
No, that was just me, I just printed it for you.
Oh, you just, no, I saw something today.
I did send an email about 4 o'clock.
Yeah, with the bid stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Did everyone see that? Did everyone?
I don't think I got an email from Ray today.
I
Maybe it's
finished
just-
this under the session. Session,
That's all right, so go ahead, Ray. I was just gonna have her pull
I
up.
probably should send it all. If you want, I can start sending.
No, that's all right, just continue sending this back line, I just,
Okay, so we've got a couple things going on. We had a bid today for a culvert project on the Moretown Common Road, right at the corner. And the reason why I'm so anxious to get this one done is the repair work we did last year was more of a splice than a permanent repair, and the chances of it staying together during a good storm are not great. So that's why the town has purchased the culvert. And so we put it out to bid to Avery, McDonald, and Kingsbury. And we got 2 bids back from Avery and McDonald, no response from Kingsbury. And so the bids were, I think the tabs, or the actual bids are around here somewhere.
I got one here, so if you want to
Actual
go
bids, if you want to look at them. The actual bids were, for Avery was 123,077, and for J. McDonald was 132,130. So a couple of really good tight bids, under our budget considerably, which is good. So I would like, and I'm recommending that we go ahead and award the project to Avery based on the bid today. And our plan is to try to get it in, weather permitting, of course, but we'd like to get it in by Thanksgiving, which would require about We told the contractor he could shut the road down for a week during the work, so he's gonna have to work that out with the school bus is the main thing.
I don't think the bus goes up
Yeah.
that way anymore since it like slid off a few years ago.
Okay,
I don't think it goes up that side of the common road.
okay.
I think it just comes from the other way and then turns around at Home Road.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing was the buses and emergency vehicles, but not so much emergency vehicles because there's really no closed driveways come in either side. So and when you're going through the stuff tonight, if you could consider that.
Yeah, no, I think we got a few minutes now. So you've been happy, obviously, if you're recommending them here, you've been happy with their work.
Yeah.
And Callie, I know you've seen more because you're on the other side. In your thoughts, you're happy with what's going on over there, and I know you had some issues and they responded to you with finding them and things working all right.
Yeah, Sean dealt with most of it. I mean, the grass is still patchy with the hydro seeding, but it'd be better if people decided not to turn around on it.
Right, yeah. So that type of stuff affecting us really.
Yeah.
So we-
And just again, to touch base on the grass issue,
Yeah.
it was a bad issue for growing this year, but I think in my case, at least committed to me that come springtime, sometime in May, if it's not growing, we'll
Yeah.
take a look at it.
Yeah, we know that.
And I think we ended up, the culverts that were there for such a long time, I think we ended up just, I think Sean wanted them and took care of them or whatever.
No,
No?
they're sitting on our back lawn whenever anyone
Okay.
wants to come get them.
All right, okay.
Yeah, he
I'll
just
check
moved
that out
them.
because
Yeah, he just moved them because they
I
were.
thought that there was a deal made that, I think he wanted, I thought he wanted it for something. and-
I don't know.
I thought he talked to Mark about it, so
Yeah.
I will, if that's not the case, then I'll talk to Sean.
Yeah, just talk-
No, he just moved them out so they weren't right up by the road. I mean,
Okay.
they're.
He certainly didn't mean to leave it there that long, it's just been one of those years.
So, Mike, do you have any questions about it?
I don't think so. I mean, it's a pretty narrow margin between those two bids. Just an observation.
Yep. That's good. So I move that we accept the bid from Avery Excavation for $123,077.
Second.
Thank you, Kelly. This is for Moretown Road Culvert number 5.29. Kelly seconds. Any further discussion? All in favor, vote aye. Aye. Thank you, everybody. So we'll accept that. Just let me sign this right before I forget. Okay.
Just thought I'd give you a quick update on the FEMA stuff. So the 2023 flood, the biggest outstanding project is the Lovers Lane project, which is not over 3 years, but basically we had to, I would say, reboot in July. They start all over with as far as working with FEMA. They had a major change in administration there. So, but since that time, we've been working pretty hard to try to come up with some sort of final number so the town can make a decision on what to do. And I'm expecting that, and we're having a meeting again tomorrow, but I expect no later than by the end of the year that we'll have that project obligated and we'll be able to go forward with, we can look at our options as far as what we want to do for repair. I'm not sure at this point the bridge is going to be an option, but it's really a funny situation where you have a repair work and mitigation work, and you can combine them if you keep the money within the job site, but if you're going to the bridge, you can't use the mitigation money. And if we can't use the mitigation money, it kind of puts the bridge out of way out of our range as far as budget-wise. And that's about all I can explain, that, you know, it's an improvement to use to do the bridge, but whether they will let us use the mitigation money for the bridge is the question right now.
Yeah, because I thought there was a bunch of questions about whether those slopes could actually be stabilized.
That is the big question.
Right, and so is that what they're, like, we're waiting for them to determine right now, kind of, or?
Yeah, so we've submitted plans with several options to fix that slope, but the best recommendation we have from there is to do the bridge.
Yeah.
But we can only do what we have money for as well, you know, so I'm really hoping that.
But there's, so the mitigation money though, where is that, what would that money be used for?
So the mitigation money helps us, they pay for repairing the work back to where it was before the storm. Before the storm was basically a granular earth-filled slope, okay? So the repair cost is basically to get that road back to that earth-filled slope. We can use the mitigation money to add rock into this equation, which I think is a lot more stable than the granular fill. And they have, like they call it soil nails that kind of, you drill into the slopes. And it kind of stabilizes things, so it helps us to get a more stabilized embankment there. That's what mitigation money is for.
Well, we'll see what happens, but
Yeah.
it certainly seemed like the bridge would be the long term.
Well, given the fact that when we do the work, we're gonna have to put a temporary bridge up anyways,
Yeah.
it just seems to make more sense.
Okay, so we're gonna have to put like a bridge over the other bridge,
Bridge over the other bridge to fix the road.
but then they might not give us the money to just make the bridge.
If you can, yeah, you can keep it what we're doing currently, put a new bridge in and not disrupt traffic, and then just shut it off.
Yeah. But we might end up doing something like that. And let's see what the final verdict, I guess you might say. It's really in their hands at this point.
Yeah.
I've made my best case for 2 years with them.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think anything that we get out of there at this point, based on, you know, what you read in newspapers or wherever you get your news, that I feel pretty lucky.
Okay.
You know, we had, I guess, the Northeast team where the storm for this past year didn't get that emergency funding. So, you know, knock on wood,
Yeah.
continue just to keep our heads down and work hard.
I think we've done some good repair work from these storms, I really do. Time will tell, I guess. But
Yeah, with Martin, you're obviously here.
I need to.
Slip right in. I mean, you guys have been doing some resurfacing recently,
Yes.
and the other stuff that we've done, the mitigation work. I mean, long term, you think that's hopefully going to help, right?
I like our odds going forward with a lot of the work that was done. Should be long-term.
I know we had a little test this summer.
Yeah, we haven't really.
And it held up pretty well in the little test that we did have. But
I mean, I'm sure we'll have other areas, but not a lot of the definitely problem areas were hopefully taken care of for a long period of time, so.
good. All right.
I did put together you want to have a copy of the spreadsheet I put together. Kind of I call it a reconciliation of the last, the 2.4, 48-10 storm. I haven't,
This one here.
I haven't yet figured out or haven't finished up the one for the 47-20 storm, but, and these numbers are not final. But I can tell you pretty much that today, we've spent roughly just under $2.9 million on this project on the 224 storm, and we've received just around $2.5 million. But the funny thing about it is, I've divided this into 3 different projects, or 3 different categories. The top column, if you're looking at it, is work that's started and been obligated. That means FEMA's pretty well done with it. The second column is started and obligation pending, which means like Ward Brook, Common Road, Stevens Brook. This is all work that we've done that they haven't done the final sign off or obligation to. And then the last 4 projects, the 4 at the bottom, they obligated them, but we haven't done it yet. So these are all estimated projects. So it's kind of funny that we're getting paid for work that's not been done and holding money that has been done. But again,
How does that, I mean, that is funny, but how does that work? I mean, I don't understand that.
so for the projects that have not been done, they're all estimated pricing. So those final prices will vary.
Right. But I mean, we're getting money on some of those, but we're not getting some on the other ones that I feel that we should be getting.
All right, so the 5 projects that are pending are very close to being obligated. So I am certain that by the end of the year, that we will see that all of our projects obligated. And they pay, at this point, 75% of the 75%.
Right.
So getting back to where I was going, to date, we have spent around 2.9 million, and we've been reimbursed somewhere around 2.5, 2.55 million. So we just got a lot of money last week, and I mean, that's been over a year working on that.
I think Thursday, Cheryl said we got $1 million, less Thursday.
So this is the project that we just looked at, the bid for 529. We have the money in place for that. That's been obligated. There's no gray area. And in fact, we have more obligated than what we're going to spend for that one. That'd be the last one down, 810, 874.
Yeah, is that, 810, 874.
It's the last one of the first grouping. So they had obligated 377,000. We're going to be somewhere around 200,000 when we get done that project. So the reason for that is when we were first looking at that project, we thought it was going to be a precast culvert.
Right, I remember that.
But after reviewing it with the engineers, it's such a steep slope over there that we went with a culvert instead. So the remaining work to be done, particularly the Bridge 21, that's the bridge right beside House Road. It really is a scour repair. That's one we're working on engineering right now. The other 3 culverts are up there, definitely on the Mountain Road culverts right behind Detzinger's. That's a box culvert. And the other one is on River Road, just past Springer Farm. And the dip there, right beside Hog Hollow. And that's going to be, again, that number's high because we're going to go with precast, but I believe now we're going to go with the 6-foot diameter metal culvert because there's wires, there's a lot of electrical wires in the way. Getting a precast in there would be very difficult and expensive. And then there's one more culvert that we just added up on Woodward Road, a small arch culvert. One of the culverts that we thought we put in during our repairs, Casella put in a 48-inch culvert, and turns out it was too small. So they decided that they would pay for another culvert.
How much did it cost us the first time we put that in?
I think it was around some 40,000.
And what size is it going to?
But I'm sorry.
You said it was going to what size culvert? 4 foot?
The new one is on the Woodward Road would be an arch, and
Oh,
I
arch.
think it's like 60 or 71 by 84 or something. But either way, no matter how you look at it, well, if we did all the work, we'd have like $5 million worth of work, which will get paid $4 million. So we're gonna be roughly $1 million difference in what we spend and what we are reimbursed. Some of it we'll get back from, because the road crew has done some of the work. Some of that work is in-house, but not a whole lot, because we did contract a lot out. It's some of the money that we expended, particularly, for my salary. Once everything is obligated, the projects don't have to be complete, but once everything is obligated, they have a 5% up to 5% administrative cost allowance.
Yes.
So, once everything's obligated, then I'll be able to, or we'll be able to turn in my fee and some fees for the town office personnel, and some of ours administrative work as well. So, I mean, we're gonna get some money, but we're still gonna be short, no matter how you.
Those are the costs. Unfortunately, we're not gonna come out of this,
Yeah.
without.
At some point, we may decide not to repair the culverts, or, we can put them off as long as we can, I guess, and work with them on that, but I think we've got most of the major ones, except for the scour repair, which is probably the biggest one right now.
Yeah, well, I think in the next month or so, we're trying to get all our ducks in a row here with what we have budgeted. I know Martin's got some big ticket items he wants to talk to us about.
Yeah.
And then we'll get with the finance committee and see cash flow, all right, we do this and we're gonna have, $1 million that we're gonna need to be financing over the next 10 years or whatever we're gonna do with this money, or figure out where we go to get it. So that we can make those decisions, and then, weigh, some of those we may have to take a bite and do it, just because it's, for long term, it will save us money, so.
Yeah, well, in the long term, but it's a hell of a fight.
Right.
I understand that.
We still don't know what the state's gonna put in either. So we still may get some money from the state as well.
That is what, at one time, they talked about adding, particularly the 23 storm, was it 5%?
It was
8%?
It was anywhere between 8 and 11, depending on the
Yeah,
job.
so, but whether we ever see that or not, things have changed a lot the last year, couple of years for sure.
Very good. Hey,
Anyways, I came with these numbers, they're not final, but I just was trying to
that's good.
get
Good.
a little bit. And I hopefully before the end of the year, I'll have a more complete feeling on the 4720 and some better numbers all around, but
Well, thank you, Ray.
okay.
I appreciate you taking the time. Any other questions for Ray on FEMA stuff?
I would just be mindful and looking at repairs down the road, because if FEMA identifies something that it needs to be repaired, and you put it off and something else happens, but you didn't do the repair, they may not cover it the next time.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
So,
Absolutely right.
it may be a bite now, but it could be a bigger bite
Yeah.
2 years down.
As you're saying, if don't fix the culvert, and wash
They
it out, and then say, oh, we're not, then they might say, oh, we're not gonna cover it at all.
Mhm.
We gave you an option to fix it or mitigate. We were gonna mitigate this 2 years ago and you didn't want to do it.
We told you to fix it then, you
Yeah.
didn't fix it, now it's your problem.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
think that's really good insight. Thank you for sharing that.
thanks for bringing that up.
yeah, they do, they do that a lot.
To making our decisions.
So the other issue, that's what it's coming on with thing is, so the church is still complaining about water in their basement, and they did the repair to stop the splash. But up in the, I guess it'd be the furthest corner up towards the steps, there's still a trickle of water coming in, so I don't know exactly what's going on. I looked at it with Ray Gable today, and he suggested maybe we'll get a hose, and when it's dry, soak the area and try to figure out if the culvert is broke between the building and the church, then it's our problem. But I don't think it is. I think it's just water that's from the church area. But so I did talk to Ray today. We looked at it and thought maybe we'd start with just.
Good enough. That's a good start. And have you communicated with that to the church people?
I only met with Joe Gabri on Friday, who does a lot of work for the church, and I'll talk to Joe
At some
about
point,
it.
yeah, when you get a chance.
So there's a culvert under the pavement right there?
There's a culvert that goes from the old entrance, the little, right across there, from there to, there's a structure right in the grass in front of the church.
Okay.
So there's a 12-inch culvert that goes across, which I really doubt that it's damaged because I think we would have known if we damaged it. And we didn't lower the grade through there, we raised the grade to get the water in the drain. So pretty unlikely that that's the problem, but hopefully that's not the problem. But if we can't figure it out with the hose, our next step is be to send a camera
Very much as it.
up through that line. And then go from there.
Well, we're not gonna rip up that asphalt, so
Yeah.
figure it out.
I think worst case, we would sleeve it with an 8-inch pipe.
Yeah, something like that. Very good.
Okay.
Thank you, Brett.
Thanks, Ray.
You can move that chair there, Martin's gonna slide up.
Can I take my jacket?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Just make sure we remember those. All right, next up on the agenda, Mad River Valley Grant. District rec discussion. Hello, hi, how are you? Good, good. I'd like to introduce so everyone knows who we are. So I'm Michael Green Mountain Club and Water.
Fix the splash.
I just don't live in Hilton House for 100, like, I've been there for about 10 years.
He did both.
So I was interested in serving. Yeah, I know, I think Don brought this up last time, was that?
Church says he never had.
Was that who brought that up, Don, and said that you had had someone who's in
Yeah, I was just talking to you.
and you also serve on our finance committee as well.
Yeah, and volunteering for Mervis, so if I get a call, apologies in advance. Yeah, so I've been executive director of the Green Mountain Club for almost 12 years in the spring. So I'm pretty heavily involved in outdoor recreation, picnic, hiking, outside. We have Long Trail in this area, the Chuck Brook Trail. But I also served as a founding member of the Vermont Outdoor Recreation Economic Collaborative, which gave money to a bunch of different municipalities for different recreation projects. So have some background in the work, the whole spectrum of outdoor rec, and feel like it's something I can give back and hopefully represent the town effectively on that board.
Good. Have you had any, with our rec committee, have you had any time to that at all, or?
No, this is a way to kind of get involved with the town and get back a little bit. So the finance committee is one, and then this is another one. So I don't have any direct experience with those folks.
Because that may be something as well, not to get on the committee, but just to reach out with them. With this position, it'll, it might be something you coordinate with Chris. Chris is, he runs the rec committee, and there are certain things that, there may be some things that we can work together with there. And, you know, Chris is very strong in the rec committee, knows a lot, so I think the two of you could really do a good job together.
Yeah, I think, well, I'm gonna meet with the executive director next week to kind of get a sense of how that board works, but my sense is, being a representative from the town, you want to be a liaison, and try to make sure that we're meeting the town's needs and carrying those perspectives and priorities to that group. So yeah, I definitely need Chris. And
Yeah, because we, I mean, certainly here with the board, that's where this comes from, but Chris does a lot of, he's really dialed in on what we need for things. And I know there are grants that that board gives out. And so that's where, you know, you might be able to coordinate with them, all right, Chris, what are you looking for, what do you think, and those kinds of things.
yeah, of course.
Mike, any questions?
No, I don't think I have any. Thanks for, of course, yeah, volunteering for the RVRD.
Yeah, we're really pleased to have someone that certainly with your experience as well, I think will benefit all of us here in town.
Yeah.
And certainly that board as well. It sounds like your expertise will, you know, they're a working board as well with volunteer members that may take some of your skills as well.
Well, and this is the first year that Moretown's a member, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
there's probably a bit of a learning curve there, but I think it'd also be important to make sure that they, you know, understand the landscape, what's happening here. I'm sure there's some similarities, but
Yeah.
Moretown's also different. There's
Exactly.
parts of it, and there's different elements. I think it's part of the meetup, it'll be important to make sure they're aware of what's happening here. So I need to do some background work.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I will move to appoint Mike DeMose to the Mad River Valley Rec District as our liaison.
Second.
There's a second here, Mike. Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor, vote aye. Aye.
Thank you all. Appreciate the opportunity, and yeah, I'll reach out to folks and do my best.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, you can reach out to any of us directly.
Okay.
You know, feel free anytime.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
Shirley, you need like a cold glass of water or something?
Just be my eyes.
Mark, what are you doing back there? It's not that hot in there. The budget, you must have got something going on with this budget. Bring it up.
Here it's you. I'm just gonna go over here and sit so I can make notes.
All right, so is this stuff all in here?
Yeah.
Probably more than Shirley. All right, so we're starting off with highway work. And that's on page 7, is that correct? And so Mark, if you just want to give us the highlights.
Yeah,
We don't need to go on there. We are.
Minimal changes, try. Here. This matches up with mine. Any way to, Shirley, any way to tell like what was changed or?
If you want to go off from yours, and then that way if there's, I made an error.
Yeah, I'll just,
Yeah.
so I think we will be. I'll get there just a minute.
You're fine.
I think it was gravel and,
There it is.
Or if you want to make copies of what you have, Martin, we can just.
Yeah, no, I think we're good. I think you're right. I think it'll be page 7 that we'll be starting. Mine. Nothing on the road stuff, so.
We have like highway work 22.5.
Right, that stays the same. That's a number that has been there for my tenure, and it just kind of is like a catch-all for the road work stuff, so that stays the same. And then as it gets charged, it gets taken from each road.
Like for example, just so people understand that right underneath that, there's $1,050 that would come out of that 22.5.
The way I understand it.
Right, yeah.
I think my first change would be under the signs, highway supplies.
Yep.
That was actually, it's gonna be a $2,000 decrease. I had plans of doing some, for a lot of sign work, and didn't really materialize, and kind of backed off from that a little bit. So I think 2,000 for next year would be more than adequate to get us through with the supplies that we have and the signs that I need to buy. So that's going to be the only decrease that I have.
That's what it seems like.
If that helps. And then we have
The chloride's gone up a little bit.
chloride, yes. Even we haven't gotten our last load yet, so we didn't expense that, but up 2,500 to 25,000 for chloride.
Yeah.
The gravel.
Gravel's just up $3,500.
Correct. And sand, of course, as we're setting these budget prices, last year I was getting sand from Northeast at $8.50 a ton, which was kind of a forced bid on my part to Northeast to get us to buy the product. So that ended up jumping $1 a ton to $9.50 this year. So that's why I honestly just didn't put enough in. We're probably going to need to do a little hauling of our own on the sand so that I feel a little more comfortable with what we have stockpiled. So reaching out to these vendors again, they were all kind of in flux as to, everybody's telling me the 3 to 5% increases that would be normal, but it's a tough time of year to set budget prices on aggregates and stuff like that, because we don't know, who knows in this economy what's going to happen with fuel prices and everything else. So these numbers are basically basing off what my vendors are telling me, which is the 3 to 5% increases. So that's a plus $5,000 on that. Stone is a plus 1,000. Culverts was a big jump. As you'll notice, I'm way over this year. Culverts went up. I think basically doubled in price from what, even like what I was priced out last year. They were telling me the 5 to 10%, and they basically doubled in price, and that's state pricing. So it's not like you can vendor shop and find better deals. That's state pricing that we get. The only good thing with this, and as I set these budget numbers, it was still unclear to me whether we owned the culverts sitting in our yard that were left over from some FEMA purchases that were my bakeries. Found out last week that we do own those culverts, I guess. So would it be more than willing to probably cut that plus 10,000 to like a plus 2,000, plus 2,500, because we'll have those culverts used. They're big culverts, which are
They're oversized.
well, for what we typically do, but they're 4 foot under. So we'll use them. It's just going to be in the right places and whatnot. So I would be comfortable shaving that 10,000 increase to a plus 2,500.
All right, so we'll put that at 2250, yeah, 22,500. Well, that's nice.
The next one, Martin, I had a question on. Because, going off from your guardrails, you said still to come. So I wasn't sure if that was gonna happen this year. If not, I did put it in for 26.
Yeah, so Lafayette is, there's one other guardrail company that does some work. I can't think of the name right now, but Lafayette's kind of the go-to guardrail company for everybody. So even this spring was working with them to repair Stevensburg Road by Bat Hennessy Road. There's that. One side's good. We did some work. The other side's terrible. It's not going to stop anybody. So he's got that in one other section. So he's claiming he's going to get that done before the end of the year. So even though there hasn't been any activity on it, it should show up hopefully on this year's budget to get that fixed. And we have numerous other guardrails that need attention. So I'd like to keep that money in there and continuously improve what we have for guardrail. So
Keep it at 10,000.
yes.
Are we usually putting in used guardrail?
Yes. Yeah, it's all used.
Yeah.
I think we.
Well, they pull off the highway or something, or repurpose it.
Correct. Yeah, it's all used.
Yeah, it's fine.
The only time we run into, and I think even in Village Hill is used, they call it scenic guardrail. It's the 4-inch beam and instead of the wider, like 8-inch beam. So he said they have a hard time repurposing that. But I think that was even used when we did that project. So
But that stuff you wouldn't know too much.
Yeah.
Some of the other stuff,
yeah,
it all blends in and everything.
Yeah.
Right? But it's
well, it's all dense here. That's their all existing.
yeah. So everything else on our town garage.
I had one more question, if it's okay. Town garage, under town garage, Martin. I just want to make sure for propane that I'm level funding that because it looks like you had something and you scribbled it out, so I just wanted to.
Yeah, so I did have a list of a few things. The propane is a question mark regarding this whole dehumidification project. So one of the caveats of if we do deal with the moisture issue, we're not going to heat that building for what we've been heating it for. It's going to go, the heating's going to cost money to put the system in and then more to heat the building because it's going to be taking the warm air out and bringing in cool air. So we're not going to heat that building for the whatever it is. But I don't see that project happening in this next fiscal year. So I think we're safe to.
Well, I think we are, I know Don wanted us tonight to talk about replacement of
The boiler.
the boiler.
Correct.
So he had mentioned talking about the other dehumidification system.
That's
That
a
sounds
huge undertaking, yeah.
I mean, so has whoever's been designing that air exchange thing, like, have they given you any idea of how much more heat capacity you'd use?
I haven't heard anything on that, just the cost of the overall.
Yeah.
I do know that the boiler that we would be going in, I haven't heard any info on whether it's going to be, it won't be as efficient, I don't believe, because that was a high efficiency unit that's in there now, but unfortunately it's so efficient, it's basically choking itself out to where the manifold needs to be changed every 5 years. Everybody's looked at it, says it's a 10-year boiler. We've gotten almost 20 out of it. We did change the element in it once, and that is what we're worried about going again. So that's with regular cleaning. So just working, it's probably a little undersized for the building. They're just working nonstop. So everybody, 3 different quotes, and they all quoted the exact same unit to replace it with, which was a boiler, propane boiler, so. And I don't know what that cost is, so I did have that written down, like what that, we know that's whatever the quote was, I think Brian.
Do we have those quotes?
LaFawn with the Warrior is like 13
Slash, you got the quote?
something. And I don't know, I told Dawn that if we didn't have the monies, the way my budget was looking so far this year, that Cheryl and Sash are gonna tally after posting everything today and get me an up-to-date budget. I probably can eat that, the cost of that boiler in this year's budget, rather than trying to come from someplace else.
This is up to date, just so you know.
Oh, this is,
The one that I just
okay,
gave you,
okay.
those are numbers as after today's
After
date.
posting, okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
It was 10,953 and 35 cents.
That was low, that was, who was that from?
LaFond.
Can you say that one more time?
LaFond.
No, I'm sorry, no, you know.
10,953 and 35 cents.
And so you think you have 11 grand in there, I mean,
I obviously not in building maintenance.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, in my budget, yeah, I think we should be able to, with some of the posting, like the FEMA work and stuff, some of our time and stuff is getting charged there, so we should hopefully be okay to be able to get that taken care of under just the regular budget.
yeah, all right, we'll definitely, we'll address that once, before we
Find out what I do, regular numbers are.
Yeah. You know, it's, I mean, we were talking a couple weeks ago, it's something we need to do.
Yeah.
All right, so then we're down in the highway, equipment, vehicle equipment.
Yeah, so, excavator, again, these pieces of equipment, that it's, you know, we're just guesstimate. I mean, these numbers could go any which way on any piece of equipment at any time, but the only real change I had was to add $1,000 the excavator. Put it to $5,000 for maintenance and repairs. It's 6 years old. And then we have some, obviously, and I did do anything with the 2018 of the Ram. Those are the big ticket items that we need to discuss. But I guess to finish out the budget, mowing the roadsides, an extra $1,000 to $8,000 a year.
How did that go this year? I was gonna ask you about that.
Well, we're under budget just because we weren't able to get around to get the first pass done, and Facein has rented us their mower at the same price as they have been, which is like $3,200. They're up to like $7,000, $8,000 from the rental companies for a week. So yeah, we're getting a really good bargain on our roadside mowing right now. So, but this part of this $1,000 bump is I'm hoping to be able to get a first pass on known invasive species early in the year before they go to bloom. Poison parsnip's a big one. It blooms early, and then we typically don't mow until August. At the earliest, it's already on the season. So we're not going to stop it, but if we can slow it down, it does. So that's.
That seems reasonable, all right.
I had a question, Martin, on that. You had, under highway equipment and tools, you had circled on your sheet 4,500, and I wasn't sure what that meant, so I did put it into the budget for 4,450, as it level funded it.
Okay.
Is that what you wanted?
Yeah.
Okay.
purchases, or is that new?
That was on which one? Okay, that's.
It's on yours, it's on page 12, on the one that you guys are looking at,
Oh, yeah, you're saying the 44, yeah.
Yeah.
And that would be basically for purchases, and I'm not sure if I wasn't, where I was going with that. If I was doing that for the rentals and leases, I put some thought into the renting a roller again, to finish up some of our resurfacing projects, but it's hard to rent. It's like to rent it for a month period of time, you have to use it every day, get your money out of it, and with the weather, you can't count, schedule it for the month of July and it rains for half a month, and you probably haven't spent the money wisely. But it did work well for how dry the summer was. It was just horrendously dry. Not complaining, I guess, really. But so that's that.
And it's just equipment, I guess.
Yeah, so there was a few different pieces to talk about. The loader, everybody knows about. I think we're on board that is. I do have some doubts that the bucket makes it the winter, especially with like frozen sand pile and stuff. It's hard on the bucket to be digging into a frozen, so we may have to compensate, use our excavator more to break stuff up, kind of baby it through the winter. I am worried about it making the winter. It's just very, very warm. The one good thing, I guess, is most equipment places have them on the lot. So if it does happen, if bucket falls off it, load in the truck, we could probably have one within a day or two to get us, and we could load the excavator for minimal time. Definitely not something we want to do every trip, but yeah.
Over a weekend,
So that,
2 days.
so in that, depending kind of numbers I had before, we're looking at anywhere from 195 to 220, 225. That was kind of late spring numbers. Trade was at 40,000 before. I would hope that it'd be close to the same going into the spring if it doesn't fall apart. So that's something we definitely have on the ballot.
Yeah, something, that would be, so when the finance committee looked at that, they based it on 180K financing.
And I think it'll be about there probably with, as long as the pricing doesn't go through the roof. So yeah, say the new loader is 240, we get a $40,000 trade fee, about 200. If it's under that, then it'll be closer to the 180. But
So we're gonna try to replace the loader, but it's not worth like repinning the bucket or anything for the winter, just
past that.
it's past that, it's
Yeah.
just all gone.
It was almost, we have put new pins in it, but without bushing and boring and everything in it.
Is that boring stuff, well, that guy must be really expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do it per hole, and by per hole, it's not just, it's the hole on the machine, it's a hole on the bucket, it's two sides. They
Right.
consider each hole a separate hole. We estimated that everyone would have to be bored probably around 15 grand to pin it, and we're getting for it. It's just not worth doing, in my opinion. But so.
If you did that, what would that do for you?
I don't know. It's got, can't think of the hour right off the top of my head, but it's an 07, undersized. Pretty much has been since it brand new. And I don't know of any other town that has a 444.
I think last year we talked about like 5,000 hours or something. Or?
Yeah, some over 5,000 hours. It's, I mean, I had some excess work with the flooding and stuff. It was used, everybody was using it. It was kind of a
Or you got somewhere at that point,
Yeah, probably, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's an 07, so it's a 2007.
I think that is in the capital budget that fits in there.
Yeah, it fits the general.
Such a
Yeah.
challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do we have a solid replacement schedule on all of this stuff?
Yeah, so originally Martin and I had gotten together and we went over everything when he thought things were gonna be made to be replaced. So I put a spreadsheet together and brought it to the finance committee. And because if you look at the spreadsheet, you'll notice in 2027 and 2028, it jumps $140,000 a year in financing, and that's due to the fact that the truck did not get traded in or financed out long enough in order to keep only one truck payment at a time.
Well, I mean, I think if you're planning on having a loader for 10 years, you have a loader for 10 years, you're done. You know, we have our trucks in Berlin for 7 years. Once the extended warranty's done, they're done. We get a new one. I think really setting a solid, realistic replacement schedule and sticking to it so we're not dumping money into pieces of equipment that we end up replacing later, like the grader. We probably should have replaced the grader, 2 years before we did. And I mean, in the long term, yes, you're spending more money when it comes out, but you're saving that money. You're getting a higher trade-in. You're trading something in that someone's really gonna wanna use at the end, and you're not having as much of a cost with it.
I think that's what we're trying.
Yeah, trying.
That is what we're trying to
I mean, in this loader's defense, it honestly has been pretty close to bulletproof up until this last year, and it's an old, I mean, so it's gonna be 20 years old by the time we get the new one. It's gonna be 19, 20 years difference in age, so it's, it doesn't owe us anything. It's been a very good piece of equipment. We have it, speaking with Sasha earlier, last week, I guess, we spent some money on the fuel system. That's not showing up in the budget yet. I think that's because United is holding some invoice because I'm not very pleased with they kind of were diagnosing the issue by throwing parts at it. And we were up at the $10,000, $12,000 mark on the fuel system, which was started with lines and injectors and then fuel pump, and then I'm like, well, we can change parts, right? So the reason I call you guys is to diagnose and find out what's wrong with it.
Right.
Because it would start, we had prime it every time we started it, so knock on wood, it's been good lately, but, so.
Whatever fixed it, we'll just
There's still no idea.
a $3 filter in it.
It could be a
And they
20
couldn't
cent
tell you,
O-ring,
yeah.
20 cent O-ring, and they couldn't tell.
That's not an ideal outcome that they
No,
can't say, oh,
well,
this is.
here's the problem, it flares back up at 20 below, right? You can't be priming them, we'll have to leave it running. It's not an option to prime it outside at 20 below to try to get it to turn over and start. So, but, yeah, no, so I don't know if I research that and find out if those bills are coming in but at the same time, we were looking at possibly, or I was telling them we were possibly looking at getting a new loader, so we may have been holding us waiting for that to all materialize.
Yeah, I think they would probably be wise to do that.
So I have a question when talking about staying on schedules and things. So for the 2018 International, we have it so that that truck will be replaced next year with a payment not starting until 2027. Would that truck be able to hold off for another year to cut that $140,000 difference?
Yeah, so that's the kind of the big topic for tonight. So would have asked for the truck to go on the ballot anyways, because typically the builds are 9 months to a year. We're 2 years out right now on the body and plow package build. If I put I put the town of Moretown in right now with Viking Survey, it's 2 years build time. So I'm gonna ask that so I'm gonna put the town of Moretown in, because he said it's no big deal if you don't have it, it's just gonna move the next guy out. So they're legit 2 years on a bill. It was a year, maybe a year ago, year and a half this spring, now they're 2 years. And that's because Tanco and Fairfield both packed up, and Alamo out of Maine bought them and moved them out of state. So don't have a lot of options. We can go to New Hampshire, we can go to Maine for our plow and body packages, but we've been using Viking even before they were popular.
So are you saying then that if, say you ordered this truck now, even if it's a month or two from the new year, are you saying that you probably wouldn't pick that truck up until 2028?
You wouldn't see the completed truck until, so pending, if Selectboard agrees, we put it on the ballot, or wouldn't order the truck until the cabin chassis are 6 months, like the cabin chassis there. So we would not order the truck and need to start payments on it until whatever worked out, July, August, and yeah. So it's
So realistically, you almost don't need to put on the ballot. If we, as long as
the cabin chassis stay at the 6 month to 9 month range.
Right.
Unless.
And those will go when you pass they seem to happen now.
Yes, before it was, the problem wasn't the build, it was the cabin chassis you couldn't get for a year and a half. Now it's kind of flip-flopped. So, yes, either way, that 2018 International has this winter and next winter in it. Like, it has to make it. I don't know what its chances, I don't know why.
Probably rather have just done, but we have a backup, right?
We do. Found some issues with that. It's a 2015, so it's 10 years old. And so kind of like back to Kelly was saying, so we have let the trucks have, and a lot of it was due to supplies with the cabin chassis and then the build. So originally we were trying to keep them 8 years. We're already at 10 because my truck, when the Mac was a 2015, the Western Star's a 2025, so we're at 10 automatically. Stefan's truck's gonna be 10 by the time we get done with that. I don't think you could ever expect to not have a truck payment. All you can do is try to keep like a 3-year window of truck payments, roll it into the next one, and then you're gonna get the caveats where the RAM gets thrown in there too, which is the other kind of ask that we're running into. It's 2018. We just put 10 grand at least on.
That's why I was asking.
Pick up a check.
Because the finance committee is trying to get us if there's only one truck payment.
Yeah, and I don't see how you.
That's impossible. It's 3-year payments, 3-year notes.
3-year notes is 9 years, right? Like, so you're already over what supposedly was supposed to happen with the 8 years, so.
Which is why we switched from 5-year loans to 3-year loans.
Right.
So we got it.
Then we thought there'd be no way to,
Right.
it'd have to be like a 2-year note make it.
Yeah,
Get one, you won't do that.
it's, and I know it's a daunting task, like, it's not easy, right?
What did?
What did it go for? Vermont state inspection and the front end issues. I got the invoice.
Oh, I don't know.
There's always this,
It's almost like I'm just saying, what?
we knew they were brake issues and a front end issue. There was like a wobble, I guess you'd call it, but, and then Vermont state inspection, basically 10 grand later and over 3 weeks sitting down there. So we thought, we've tried Gostows, we tried, what was the other one? And then
It's, or whatever.
yeah, it's McGee,
That's what's called.
and so we thought we'd try G-Stone, and honestly, they flip a coin, I guess, for what you want for service here. So, I don't know, I mean, the truck may be brand new when we get it back, I don't know. But, so with that truck, it is fairly low miles, it's, 60,000 miles or whatever. But I strongly believe that the plow may not make the winter, like as far as intact. There might be some wear, we may have to buy a new plow to get us through, and maybe that's something we, play with a little bit. The equipment for that stuff is, yeah, it's a commercial plow, but it's getting used all of commercial and then some, right? So it's just showing lots and lots of wear and a lot of loose parts. And maybe it'll be fine. It's pretty well built and we can toggle stuff together pretty well, fabrication and want stuff. So I'm just kind of putting it out there that, worried about it.
So there's no way that you would come to us next year at this time saying you need to replace this truck, right?
No way. Not if you get me doing this year. The Ram, you right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely would be coming to you next year and saying it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. So we've never, it's the first like 5,500 we've had. It's been a better truck than the Chevy. The Chevy was a good truck too, but it's been, I think, a better truck until now. Until this $10,000 bill, it's been fairly low maintenance, not
Yeah, I really haven't seen much
huge,
stuff.
no, nothing outrageous, but, and then this type of stuff, when you get into that size truck, everything's just more, brakes, caliper, everything's just costs more, nobody has it in stock in here. So I'm kind of glad that it all got done now, so we can go into the winter with hopefully a fairly sound truck, rather than not do the brakes now, and in January we decide we have to do brakes, and it sits for 3 weeks in the shop, right? So, so I guess we just got some decisions to make, and I don't think the loader is, I think that has to go on the ballot. And then the other stuff is, I agree with you, like maybe the 2018 tandem doesn't have to go on the ballot this year, then you might be with the 2018 and the Ram. Do we get, I guess if we come down to voter approval, we don't have to buy it, right? And I don't know
I
how.
would almost rather
Put it on.
do the Ram this year.
Okay.
I'm just.
Spit on, like, for money, right, like, yeah.
Cash flow wise, just
Yeah.
maybe get ahead of it. We need the 18, but we know it's 2 years away anyways.
Right.
So if we're gonna get that approval, it's not like we're not gonna get the approval for it. I wouldn't, unless something catastrophic next year, then piss on the anyways.
Right, yeah.
I think it's that,
The same boat.
It is in the capital budget too.
Right, for this year it is.
Yeah, so we would finance, we would finance it in '26. So we wouldn't pick it up until '26, and then our loans would start in '27.
What are you talking about, the Ram?
Yes.
Okay, we switch back, that was,
Yeah.
my mind, I was.
So I just kind of presenting what we're up against, and where we are, like, in the scheme, like Cheryl was showing the capital budget, and I think everybody's on close to the same page, like the capital budget, they knew there was gonna be a huge jump in this cycle of equipment, basically. They saw it coming in the capital budget. It's just how we manage to keep it as, manageable as possible, I guess.
Mike, what's your thoughts?
I'm just thinking, so, okay, so besides the excavator, because that doesn't get that many hours, so there's the 4 trucks and the loader, and we're trying to rotate those on a 7-year cycle, right? So it's like on a 7-year cycle, except there's 5 years that we need to buy something, and then 2 years where we don't. So, yeah, I don't know, because I mean, what's even like a plow for the Ram, like 12 or 15 grand, like for just the plow, and
I
not
haven't
even.
priced them, but yeah.
Right, I mean, so like, yeah, I feel like it
Would be kind of thrown
probably
out.
makes sense, like Tom said, to put that on the budget and redo that, or whatever, get a new one for that. Yeah, I know, it's big numbers, but what do you think, Cal? You're making faces over there, not saying anything.
A capital, I know there's grants out there for people to come in and do a full capital plan. And they walk through everything. And I know that because we're just finalizing ours. And I mean, we're talking about new buildings, new construction, all of that. And it plans with your reserves, so you're also not taking out all the loans either.
Yeah, no, I think your experience over there is certainly helpful here, and to bring those discussions here. And I think we're doing a good job with what we have, but I think you make a good point. Maybe we, in the future, or the near future, try to bring in someone with more expertise to help us out and get best practices and really to make sure that we are. But I think the finance committee, based on the things, the immediate needs that we have.
Yeah, I can tell you, just when, like Cheryl first showed me before, when I first kind of took over and showed me the first capital budget, I'm like, this might as well.
Yeah, when I was here, there wasn't a capital.
Exactly, right? So like, but it's at least streamlined a lot closer to what our needs are, I think, now than it was. It's a tool that the finance committee can actually use semi-accurately to.
Right. And we've got people on the committee that are getting better and better too. I think Mike's was here earlier, he just got on, he has some good experience. We've got Jason who's been on a while, he has good, financial experience, and Linda has good. So I think as we've gotten better expertise there, it will grow. And then I think Callie makes a good point, if we can get some outside eyes looking at it, because sometimes we don't know what we don't know. We're not looking and we're forgetting like some of the other capital things around town that they may point out to. But I think tonight or immediately though, I am pleased to see like the RAM is on and it is in the schedule. So, I think we'll certainly make a final decision at the end of the budget. But I think at this point, in my mind, I'm kind of leaning towards, all right, let's put 5,500 on. Keep the 18 until next year, because it's more symbolic than anything, putting it on the ballot.
If it's the timeline.
But then is there something else that needs to go on the next year as well? Like, so it's not, right, so like, we're not doing 2 things in 1 year, or?
Yes and no. It's just how aggressive are we going to be on the tandems to try to get them back to a lower. So I don't know if this 2-year build windows will alleviate. I've talked to them a little bit down there, like what are their plans, but a lot of it is Viking Survey is a Canadian company, so it's, I'm guessing, tied to the political tariffs and stuff, like slowing things down and like.
There's probably a lot of that.
Right, so I don't know if that will alleviate over time or if it will get worse or we do have to contemplate going to, New Hampshire. Like I said, I do like Viking. Like I said, we've used them long before they were as big as they are now because of their bodies were held up better than the competitions. So I don't really have any clue, but as far as like some of the kind of like the backstory, so back when the dump was open, they had money to spend. They bought a 07 dump truck, tandem dump truck. They bought an 07 loader. They bought an 07 grader, all at the same time, which is great. Foresight wise, the loader and grader were probably going to always go about the same time, right? So kind of double whammy there with back to back. But then you're looking at, let's say, 15 years, hopefully not 20. So, and then you're down to just the trucks, basically.
Yeah.
And that, like you said, maybe dictated on what the builds are for these things.
Yeah.
So I guess to answer my question, I don't think there'll be another big expenditure because we've got the loader, we've got the grader, and you can't anyways because you can't buy another truck.
Right.
So
I guess, yeah, sorry, yeah.
I mean, there is.
That's a good question.
No,
it is.
I misspoke, yeah, so it's really just the 4 trucks, right? Because, yeah, you try to keep, like, what would you ideally keep there's a 12-year note on a loader, or hypothetically a 15-year note on the excavator, so then as soon as the note's over, we get a new one, basically, or see where we're at.
That's obviously perfect. Yes, that would be my preferred action to get that cycle. Your trading's going to stay fairly high. Your costs are going to be similar. You're maybe not going to take those chances of putting big money into it right before it goes and not recouping it on the trade. We've done it a few different times where we dump money into something that we're not going to see the trade increase on.
So then, that being said, the excavator was paid off this year.
Okay.
And that may be something
And
as simple as getting dictated by how reliable it is down the road.
Right.
You'll have some hydraulic pulsing issues that we need to have addressed. Probably gonna have to go to Beauregard's and have that looked at. They've done a little bit of work with it, but they haven't found the issue. So
That's with the excavator?
yeah. So, but it is 6-7 years old now, so
Is it really that?
yeah.
2020?
Well, sorry, so, like, can you get, like, because under the excavator it says new loader 12-year note, 2023 grader 15-year note. Can you get notes that long on equipment? I thought they were all like 5 years.
No,
No.
that's just personal.
Oh, that's just, so municipal you can get different, okay.
Bigger equipment lasts longer.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I think even if you're like, okay, say my company wanted to buy an excavator, I think I could only get like a 5-year note on it or whatever. So it must be different for municipal or some municipal.
It's probably good.
Yeah.
Want yours up front.
Yeah, right, oh yeah, that's just why I mean, yeah.
Exactly.
I've never asked that question to the bank because we just,
Yeah.
they go there.
So back to the truck thing, so like I know Berlin, the last I had 2 trucks you guys have bought have been pre-built, right, from that Tenco in New Hampshire. Which is something we may have to visit, Been happy with Viking, but you can't be happy with a 2-year turnaround and build either, right? So, because both the 2018 and the 2020 internationals were pre-built. We bought them as pre-built trucks, and then things kind of went to heck. And so there's a few more avenues to investigate and pursue. But they have like how I said, they keep them 7 years and full warranties and ship them when they're done. So,
Do we have the extended warranties?
so we haven't, not historically, but
It's about 20 grand.
it's not, but I mean, they don't even open a garage door for like $2,000 anywhere to drive a truck in. It's like, oh, $2,000 to push the open button.
Yeah.
So
It might be worth.
it might be, I mean, my theory had always been that they should back their equipment, right? They should back what they're selling you, but they're all corporations now, so they all have no skin in the game. They're gonna,
Yeah.
all right, I don't know.
So we will, like, that's kind of what we're, so don't have the guys out shopping yet.
No. I haven't even got to my wish list. One thing I really do want to strongly consider is a blower for the grader. It's a high-powered blower that will blow the leaves in front of, well, some people, a lot of towns have them on their roadside mower tractors, which we don't have, so. And a lot of them run them on the back of the grader, which makes no sense, because they have to go, but like Berlin has a nice setup on the front of their grader. They can blow the leaves as they grade. And it sounds silly, but the leaves are a big issue in the fall to grade roads. And they actually clump up and will keep the water on the side of the road. You know, they'll push the leaves down, pile up, and then we'll go around them. And we've blown leaves off with Buzz, our little backpack blower, for 5 years, I think now. Like, we literally strap it to the back of the Ram.
Yeah, I've seen it. I was just saying, you couldn't do that in front of the,
And now, so this year, the last 2 years, Eric has his ride-along blower that he has from his business, and he's done it, and it sounds silly, but it's a very decent tool. It helps immensely with the grading, but more so getting the shoulders clean for grading. Because when you're grading and you have this much leaf on the shoulder, you don't even begin to try to touch them because it just goes all up on the mold. So you go around them, and now you're leaving like those leaves and stuff, and you cause all your shoulder damage and stuff like that. By blowing them, then you can go out there and make sure your shoulder's clean, and it will also blow them through the ditch, like up to the other side, so it kind of cleans the ditch at the same time. So they're about 15 grand, I think. But something I'd like to strongly consider putting on there.
Does that run off the grader hydraulics?
It would be electric on with a pony motor on that. Like the tractor ones are PTO driven. But yeah, so sounds kind of silly. And then just my usual stuff. I got pressure washer. I'll bring it up again. It's definitely old. It's been holding together quite well. Hydro seeder. May get forced into it down the road with just all these grants and stuff. They want stuff covered. We do have good relations with Faced In, Waitsford. They both have hydro seeders that we can probably rent if we needed to. So
I was gonna notice in some of the grants, Sharon, do we have any luck on any of those?
We haven't applied for, but Martin and I had talked about it a couple years ago. Do you remember that?
yeah, it was it's like everything. It's like it was fairly small unit, and so it's almost like a homeowner special unit. Everybody I've talked to, it's like you can't. You need the double reverse agitator for what we do with the length of ditch line that we do. Like they have hydro seeders that would come out and do this long here, but because of how much square footage we do, you have to mix up a big batch, so we just be back and forth all the time trying to mix up and agitate. And even with the bigger unit, they claim it will take 4, 5, 6 loads if they have like a week's worth of ditching to do. So, and I don't think, even if we owned a hydro seeder, I wouldn't micro seed everything. If I think I can get grass to grow on bare soil, I would just grass seed and mulch if we had to. This year, couldn't get grass to grow on, and it was just so dry, like, you just couldn't get grass to grow. When germinated, birds would haul it off faster than, I mean, we reseeded ditch lines twice, some 3 times, and they just wouldn't germinate with no moisture. So, not a good year for that, but.
You said that hydro cedar was 15?
It was, Wakefield and Faith got there for 12, they're about 20 grand now.
And the pressure washer, I forget, I don't know.
I didn't even bother your pricing this year, I'm gonna guess around 12 to 15.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I had,
Oh, 15,000 for a pressure washer?
hot steam with.
Oh, steam, oh, so you can like get grease off.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
and well, it's dual purpose, because it's also our culvert.
Oh, okay.
Last thing I have is, rather than, I should talk with Chris on the rec committee, we talked a little bit about getting a brush hog for the banks and stuff. And honestly, like with the story path out here, a brush hog's not gonna do any good, but like a little 4 or 5 foot sickle bar mower, you could go down one side of the path, down the other side. That'd be done, you could do your hills with it. Same as a brush hog would be. About the same amount of money, I would presume you have to look
Do
at.
some of your roadsides with it.
Yes, correct. You could get out and get those invasive early
Yeah.
with it.
You need a bigger tractor for that.
Well, if it fits, I mean, it's probably gonna be a 4 foot sickle bar, honestly,
Yeah, just a
but
small.
maybe a 5, but whatever they would spec for the tractor, it's gonna be a small one, but if it even specs for it, we'll see. I just didn't rather, I've been like wanting the brush hog for it to do the hills, and I was just thinking about like a sickle bar mower would be, I think, overall better for like the rec side of things, but. So, that's kind
What
of.
was it, kind of the cost on something like that? Did you,
I don't know, I'm guessing
I was gonna say
4,500.
Yeah, probably not that.
There's like some flail mowers that offset
Yeah.
that would probably, but I don't know how far it would offset if it would like work for like the story walk, what you're saying.
Right.
And they're probably in that same price range for that size tractor. I don't know.
Yeah, just look into it, just see what recommendations would be, but we'll see. See what Chris has to say if something he's interested in.
Yeah, because he came in and when they were talking, they were looking for actually some money so that they could do some trimming themselves and things like that. And I would rather not allocate money for them to do that type of stuff actually.
If we could do it like
Right.
twice a year with the sickle bar, keep it.
Well, that and also, but I think we need to keep, this is kind of a solid, we need to keep our trimming and, I mean, this facility here, and I think we need to step it up a little bit as far as, working this, and this is,
Making it work.
Yeah.
And also, you're also gonna run into insurance issues if
Yeah.
people are running town equipment and they're not.
Well, we wouldn't allow them to run town equipment anyways, but, yeah, I think it's just better if we just
Do it.
right, do it in-house and figure out, all right, we're gonna have this person and these people do it, and take some pride in it, and let's just do it. But I think it's, when you get a moment, and I would have you do it, speak to someone at the Kubota, whatever it is.
Yeah, and find out what, maybe, maybe it's not even an option, I'm not sure. I mean, I know they have.
Oh, yeah, no, I'd say that.
It's, yeah.
It's definitely,
I'm just sitting here looking at the capital budget and the 27, 28, it's just like, even the finance, the finance committee, we were like, oh man. Just sitting here thinking and just something for the select board to think about, maybe the $75,000 that we got, if we invested that money now, we could make money on it because we're getting decent rates. And could take 60,000 of those funds and make those 2 payments for those 2 years. And then the 30,000 for the Dodge Ram. So there would be no payment on it, well, there'd be a payment, but it wouldn't be, right. Just wanted to throw that out there,
All right, let me just-
because it would lower our total debt.
So where would we put that 75 and something, right, but when would we take that? 27?
Yeah, 27 and 28, those two payments.
Of the 26?
No, so we're not gonna have a payment in 26 on
No, the payment was 26,000. No, I'm sorry,
30,000.
30,000, yeah. I was looking under.
It's just those 2 years, the total capital debt is high. I mean, it's jumping $140,000 just in 1 year.
So, that's something to think about.
Yeah.
I just thought of something too, which I don't know, I didn't think of it when we were talking about putting off the 2018. I don't disagree, but then we're also have to consider the 2021 in that whole scheme of things, you know what I mean? Putting off if things were to change and it's not a 2-year window build and we stay on track with the trucks, you know, I was like, and we want to keep away from 2 truck payments, and you just have to consider how that's going to play out with the 2021.
Well, I mean, I guess we could put it on, right, so
Yeah, I understand.
See,
I don't disagree with you there.
putting it out.
Right.
I mean, I guess it's only more for, at this point, really voter, you know, not so much approval, but even,
Yeah, right.
you know,
You're not going to feel good voting for
Right.
something you're not going to see for a year and a half.
or 2 years, and we would want to put this other stuff here, so just the back of my mind is, because when people look at that, they look at, you know, $275,000 for a 2018 or a Mac or a tandem, and
Awesome.
then another $100,000 for 90,000, whatever it happens to be for that, but they're thinking, you know, it's
Yeah.
pretty comfortable, but we can kind of already do one this year and one next, because it's not really putting us, doing anything different than we can do
Yeah. No, I don't.
at this point.
Right.
And then if the next year after that, we have to go 1 year. I mean, it's really, that's a product of the build and anything.
Yeah, at this point it is, yes.
So that.
Because if we could get it, or if there was an as-built out there that we could say, all right, then we'll take it next year, you know, then maybe that would be considered to do that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if
Now, I will do some research on that and see where they're coming along. It's not my first choice for bodies, but at this
Yeah.
point, we're stuck. I mean, 2 years for a build is ridiculous. So,
But don't compromise what we
No.
want, you
Yeah.
need it for the short, you know, because then you'll be kicking yourself in the butt for 7 years and say, shit, I wish I had.
And now we're all Viking builds, so it's just kind of nice. All of our bed changes, like everything's the same, like wing parts, pop, like it's.
Plus you've been working on it, you know how to work with
Yes,
another.
yeah,
You know,
so, and whereas before we had 3 different builds, a Viking, Tanko, and Fairfoot, and nothing. So you couldn't stop parts for,
Right.
so. All right.
We've got money to invest. Invest it into a short-term CD instead of making a payment. If you get enough, just pay off the truck.
Well, that's what I was saying. We would take the money right now, invest it,
Yep.
and then the payment on that truck won't be due for another year, so that money's just gonna sit in that CD and keep making money. I
And
can't.
then
But
for
then-
college, we could either finance or just take the 60,000.
Don't finance it. You've got enough interest that you're dumping
Right,
out.
but I mean, I think even like at 4%, like say it's it's $4,000, it's 78,000. So it's just it's not. I get what you're saying. It's not enough to pay it off.
No.
You know?
Right, but I mean.
And then they're gonna go down if if the Fed keeps lowering rates, which they like that the CD rates will go down commensurate up or down with the Fed rates. So like in a year the rate could be like 2.5%. Like so then we're not. It's not really that much money. But I get what you're saying, right? If we had 75, we just, whatever, continually roll it over and just take the interest and then, but that's only like $4,000 a year.
Well, we also need to remember, we also have money in our capital reserve fund. So I think that's something the select board needs to think about. I mean, I'm not saying pay for the whole truck with the
Right.
capital reserve fund. I'm talking about the extra $30,000. Because I mean, we're basing this truck off from, it was 90 grand, 90 to 100 grand, right?
Off the ramp.
Yeah.
Estimate, I did just some quick research online, is basically what I did. I didn't do any action, but just to get some rough
Yeah.
numbers.
Right, I mean, that's fair.
Yeah. So even the, you know, if that money's sitting in there and then however much interest there's still, you know, that's made on the CD, there's still, we still do have funds available.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, it's a good idea because it's better than just sitting in a savings account getting.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
You
180.
didn't go backwards on that because we're
Yeah.
paying more interest on it, yeah, so.
That's why I brought that up. I just think that instead of just sitting on that money, it's,
Yeah, well, let's go to the casino with it and we just make it work, right?
yeah. Right.
Smart, you have anything else?
Anyone wants?
Yeah.
Yes, but probably nothing gonna help with
Probably not.
No, so I have no one's in.
So like the blower and stuff, is any of that coming in the budget or would that all go to?
It would be, kind of Selectboard decision if we just try to, you know, sacrifice them. My thought was, culverts came down some, maybe we can sneak it into my budget, we can put it to voter approval, it's kind of, you guys just call on that if you.
Even a civil bar could go into the budget.
Right, and my hope there would be that maybe, no, go back to your thing, keep it in-house, we'll just own it, and rather than, or about the direct money comes from us anyways, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'd still own it. You know, maybe part of their budget would pay for part of the civil bar.
All right, and so the blower is probably number one on your,
Yeah, right now, I think so, yes. Wouldn't be, but Eric said he's gonna sell his, with ride along, so.
well, I guess he's, so he's, things are working out there with everyone and the guys, doing all right? Getting ready for winter.
No, yeah, we are. It's not going quite as fast, but we got Superman coming in Wednesday, so Sean's gonna come do some other coding.
Oh, all right. Things will actually get done.
Right, with the boss man, the state supervisor, you know things will be in shit shape then.
I'm going to show you boys how to, yeah.
So we have with
Yeah, he was gonna give me a lesson on that.
Yeah. No, we're okay. I wish we were a little further along. You know, a few odds and ends. We were at the fire station today doing couple of Donnie's projects there and get that done. Then we get a look at lodges. I don't think that would take us very long. We'll get that done.
But hell, yeah.
And then,
We need a big, beautiful maple there in the middle, that would be nice.
yeah.
Other than that, it's,
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see.
all right,
All right.
well, we get it.
Well, yeah.
Very good. Thank you, Mark.
I still haven't heard back from the surveyor.
Okay.
I talked to him on the phone. He said he'd get back to me on Monday.
Try to get it done. It may not happen this week, but I'm gonna try hard if I don't get done this week, next week. So like for deer season, they'll have their access at least for rifle season or whatever. That's my goal. Okay.
All right, we'll talk.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
All right, that wasn't that painful, huh? Things as far as the vehicles to think about, but
I think, kind of what we talked about, that we're going to do next year. But let's put that all together and take a look at it, but I think that'll kind of work.
Okay.
You got some insurance stuff you want to share, Sharon?
Yeah, we're gonna skip over the town office stuff because I don't have all my figures yet, but I do have the insurance.
Okay.
So if you look at the black section 2025 plan, that's what we currently have. And then the 2026 plan is in the middle, same exact plan. And the difference is $3,218. It went up 2.9%. So my recommendation is to stick with what we have. I know not all employees, including myself, aren't happy with it, but it's insurance. The way I look at it is it's insurance, and if I had my way and you guys said, well, what do you want? Because we're going to give it to you. I'd say, let's go back to Blue Cross. But it's like 20 grand more. It's just not.
This is
It's 10 grand more.
It is, but they do not cover like Blue Cross Blue Shield do. Almost all the employees have had an issue with it.
Because then we switched to this last year or something from Blue Cross.
Yeah. Yeah, because the price just, I think, what was it, 18% it went up last year? So it was just too much.
But so the Blue Cross plan's 10,000 more than the.
No, it's like 20,000.
Well, but us, this is not the right number.
124? Yeah, it is 10,000, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
11.7% increase over what we would be paying with the lower this year.
Yeah.
So what MVP, it doesn't, yeah, just, it sounds good.
No.
Do you guys have it in Berlin?
Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Cigna,
See.
we're part of it. We got lumped in with the Teamsters Union for the PD, so that's what we have.
Yeah, because I don't think Cigna, we can't get that.
There's just, there's just the two health insurers,
Yeah.
essentially. There's MVP and Blue Cross for,
And that's, as you mentioned to me earlier, you're kind of taking this over, and as far as Craig is not doing anything with this thing.
Yeah, so apparently, and it wasn't brought up to us last year when Craig's done a great job helping us out because we had to switch over and, we totally needed him for the 2025. And the way it was presented to me was MVP told him that he was to get paid $150 a month for overseeing the whole policy. So it's up to you guys if you want to have him continue doing that, paying him, or if you want me to just,
You can do it, right?
if that's what you guys want me to do, then yes.
I mean, do you see any benefit to having him do it at this point?
I think it's great when I can pick up the call and say, phone and say, hey Craig, can you do this? And he does it, but it's all set up now, and I think that worst case scenario, we can always go back. If it's too much, I'll tell you.
All right, well, if you think you can do it, then that will save us $1,500, right?
Yeah.
what's it's not finished, what's like the total?
It is, it's-
Budget for everyone looking at their own.
Yeah, right down in the very bottom, you'll see that.
No, I'm saying like what's the total, like the fiscal year?
Oh, we don't have that yet, 'cause it's not up in there.
Like, well, okay, so last year this was 1.8. Are we expecting it to go up, or are we like about flat, or?
You mean the total budget?
Yeah, I'm just curious, like.
And once we get everybody's numbers in there, because I don't have a lot of the memberships yet. Like I don't have Montpelier ambulance yet. I don't have a lot of them, I don't have a lot of memberships because they don't have their prices given to us yet.
Okay, so we don't have any idea if that, I mean, it's not gonna be flat, but we don't know if that number's gonna go up 5% or 10% or.
We don't know, I can't imagine, but it depends on what we've decided to put into our budget. If we put in a blower or a sickle mower, those things add up.
Right.
So it really depends on what you guys, if you guys are gonna try to, you know.
Because most of the budgets that we're looking at are fairly level funded.
Right.
Yeah.
So it should be a huge increase, and we should see a surplus this year as well.
But, so I'm just like specifically wondering about the insurance, like, you know, you can't ask people, but if it's like, I wonder, like, how much do people think it's costing more out of pocket having MVP versus
It's
Blue
not.
Cross Blue Shield?
It's really not because we have our HRA to cover it.
Oh, okay, so you're saying, okay, so it doesn't cover as much, but then there's the HRA.
There's an HRA, like I personally had a problem with my HRA and I had to pay a $400 bill. But it wasn't disclosed to me either by the provider that it wasn't gonna be covered under my insurance.
Yeah, I don't usually do that.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, what else, Cheryl? Yeah, of course.
I really don't have anything because I put it all in here for you guys to look at. Once it comes down to the end of the last meeting or whatever, we can discuss it then. Because I haven't done the town clerk, town treasurer. It's pretty much gonna be, I didn't add in anybody's pay until you guys figure out what you're gonna do. So there's really nothing in my budget. The auditors, auditor's bookkeeping, that went up a little bit, but that's because we've signed a 3-year contract with Sullivan and Powers. So each year it went up just like everything else
Right.
does.
There's nothing else that's,
Nothing that I put in
we're
here
gonna say, oh
is,
my God.
no, and I'll get to the lister stuff because I have to, you know, never fails go up like 2.5–3% each year, so same with GIS. So I have to get those figures in there. I'll do the same with the zoning, it's all pretty much, there's really no changes.
Is there like anything, I know we're like running late here, like Access GIS, like is there anything in their contract about like if there's all these egregious errors, like we still have to pay them the same amount, or it's just like?
We haven't had any, like,
I mean, when I look at the tax maps, like there's areas that I know are like completely wrong, and there's like the surveys are in the town office,
well,
and I know they're there, and like they're just totally wrong, and the wrong names are on it, and it's the wrong shape.
so then it is up to the taxpayer, or if you see it and you know that it's
Well, it's
correct.
not really affecting me, except I know it's wrong, you know.
Right, but if you see something, then I have a form that I can fill out. If you know where it needs to be fixed,
Yeah.
then I can send it in directly to them.
Okay.
But it's really up to the taxpayer to get that corrected. And I'll tell you, a lot of them don't,
Right.
and you know,
Right.
you know.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you see something, you can get it to myself or Sasha, and we can send it right straight to them,
Yeah. Okay.
definitely.
So where are those errors coming from? I mean,
It's good, like, it's like usually if like a parcel got subdivided, but it, like in the ones I'm thinking of in particular, like, there's like surveys on file and they got like subdivided back to like how the surveys were. You know, it's like bigger lots that got put together and broken up.
yeah.
But then the shapes just don't get like the surveys are like maybe a couple owners back or something. And so then I feel like they don't chase it out that far, or I don't know what their responsibilities are.
Yeah.
And so then like, it's just really wrong. And yeah, like you're saying, a lot of it's probably like the landowner doesn't
Yeah.
looks at their tax bill, but maybe doesn't look at like what the acreage says,
Yeah.
right? And it's like totally wrong.
So when they came in and they did it, it was based on the current owner.
Yeah.
If the current owner had name on file in the survey, then it automatically got corrected. And if somebody knew that they had a survey on file but it wasn't in their name, then it was up to them to provide CAI with that information.
Yeah.
So when you see something that's wrong, it's usually calculated, is what they call it.
Right, yeah, no, I know that, but yeah, so, or yeah, I didn't even, yeah. So it's
Yeah,
just-
but if you see something, feel
Okay.
free to send the info my way and we'll get it over to them. If you notice it. And you have
If
to-
I feel so inclined, yeah.
You care.
Just curious, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So the other thing, I wasn't sure how much you guys wanted to put into law enforcement. Law enforcement is on the second, it's on page 2. Last year you had 20,000 and I put 20,000 in it again. We've only spent less than, well, nine grand. And it's November.
That's basically because they're the hours that taking work, right? They don't have any more time to do it. They're on the highways directly now.
So it'll top out this year at like 12,000 and about,
Probably.
and then next year they won't have any more hours, so it'll be like 12,000 again.
I think we've been kind of running that, haven't we, in that range?
Mhm.
So maybe 12 to 15,000. What's your thoughts, Mike?
I don't know, I mean, I think there is a speeding problem, but I don't know.
They only have so much time to give
Right,
us.
I think we could put it to the number that they're giving us, but I don't see cutting it below that.
Yeah.
Right, so if it's, this year it's gonna top out at 12,000, well, then we should just put it at 12,000 for next year.
Well, we can always look at this at the end of it,
Yeah.
in December. So you want me to move it to 12,000 for now?
There.
I left the website, that is the other thing I wanted to talk to you about. I did remove the website expenses because Carol's taken that over, so that's not in there, and the FICA Medi's not in there. And then the website design, there was 5,500 in there. I talked to Sasha and she said that there's still some work that, I can't remember her name, is doing, but I didn't know if you wanted to drop that down to 2,000.
There still is website expenses because of the GoDaddy,
Yeah.
no hosting.
Yeah, because I don't think that anyone else aside from Carol was doing any work on it really, though, is that?
Well, that's what I was saying, that
She needs to get with the designer to get some things done.
Okay.
She just hasn't had time because of the town plan.
So probably do you know how much the web services and the GoDaddy or whatever is? Right up here.
I think it was under that 400, wasn't it?
yeah, it wasn't very much.
So a couple thousand, then we'll probably cover that.
So keep it at 2 and just look at
Yeah.
those 2 when we get it, okay. And I think that is really the big changes that I made today.
Town events, you don't want to miss that.
So that's the town events, so just so you know, in the recreation expense, which is in that same category, in the middle of the page, recreational expense, you see how much, it went up to 13,897.39.
Right, that's that town event.
Yeah, that includes Morfest fireworks. But that's something that Steve came in and talked to you guys about. That's all I have.
Thank you, Sean. Anything else that you should bring up to the,
Huh?
anything else that we have?
The only other thing, I did get a new request today, so you guys can expect.
From the Charlton Davis or?
No, Waterbury Area Senior Center is going with about $5,000, so they are going to be getting a petition signed by 5% of the voters for you guys to see if you want to put the article on the ballot.
What are they asking for?
It was, what did I tell you, 7,200?
Over $6,000.
Yeah, it's around 7 grand.
Is that still just based on per capita? Is that how they're?
No, they don't do that.
I mean, not per capita, but I thought they had a formula based on how many people that they were
Serving?
serving.
Yeah, in the letter, I don't have it with me here right now, but they were serving over 2,000 Moretown residents in 2020.
2,000 visits. Yeah.
Well, that stuff is going up.
Mhm. So once I get that, I'll let you guys have it.
Very good, Charlotte, thank you very much. All right, so we have,
Oh, here it is.
first thing I want to, because I want to make sure we do not forget it, but we have the boiler for the town yard, we need to make a decision on. And Sasha, we have the one number from, we have both those quotes, or?
Not in front of me, I think John has the other one.
Good night, everyone.
Hey, I'll make sure. Just pass that along. And the one that you quoted to me, the, it's 10, whatever it was that the low bid, did you know?
Not by a lot, but it was a little bit.
Anyone else would call getting that from Don at all?
Don sent us all three of the,
Well, I think he had sent us the 2 quotes from the 2 places.
I feel like he just brought it up in the meeting.
As far as, yeah.
I don't remember seeing an email like from, with the quotes in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't seem to find one either, so. I mean, it's kind of hard to make that decision without
Hang on,
all the information, right?
that's the dehumidifier. Moretown Town Garage Boiler Replacement, $12,200.
Peak mechanical. 916. And so this is the other one, Sasha?
Yes.
12.2. And thank you for doing that. I need that just a second. All right, so we've got 12.2 from Peak Mechanical, and the other contractor, what was their name, Sasha?
LaFond.
LaFond, thank you.
No, I've actually done it 3 times. And that's $10,953.35. And did you talk to Don? Was he happy with LaFond? Did you know anything about them?
Yep, yeah, he's the one that did the heater at the old library building.
Okay.
Martin said they were all spec'ing the same equipment.
So I think probably go ahead with the 10,953 with LaFond. So I move to do that.
Second.
Thank you, Cal. All in favor? Aye. So we can let Don know that. So, thank you very much. All right. So Sasha, now any reports, communications?
Do you want to officially do a motion for the bridge, and then I can get that taken care of tomorrow?
Sure. So I move to accept the state recommendation to do option, I think it's option 2, and that's with the truss bridge with the just a walking footbridge for pedestrian traffic. That would be our recommendation. We'll accept their recommendation, and with input from the mayor, I think everyone was happy with that. So if there's a second.
Second.
Thank you, Mike. All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Unless there's any communication. All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And aye. Next, Sasha.
Mad River MOU, do you want to, the ambulance service? Do you guys want to go ahead and sign that tonight? Since you agreed last week to
Yeah.
do the 6,000?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, I've got that in the stack here with a couple warrants. I spoke with Davis about some speeding issues on River Road. He can't really give out a ticket because there's not enough signs. He said probably 8 signs would be able to get him enough to have some grit to write some tickets.
Sure.
There's a teenage girl that's very reckless, and he's had many complaints, not just from people that live on that road. Wondering if you guys would like to purchase more speed limit signs under the law enforcement like we did last year.
Yeah, let's see why not. I mean, we got the money there, we might as well get them, and if they're being put up, and that's gonna make it work.
And maybe grab a couple more for Jonesbrook too.
Yeah. No?
I mean, I looked, there's one at the town line, so I don't, when I had talked at one point, he said there wasn't one where it switches over. There's one there. I mean, there's one at Herringbrook, definitely. I mean, I don't know how far apart.
He said on a dirt road, they need to be at least 3/4 of a mile apart.
I mean, the road itself is 2.6 miles from my house down to the end, and half of that's Berlin. So, I mean, I think between the one at the line and the one at Herringbrook, that's probably a mile there, so.
Okay.
I mean, I think, I would double check it, but there's a sign there. Tree branch may need to be cut in front of it, but I was like, wait a minute, there's enough signs probably there. So,
Well, we just don't want sign pollution either, so people will sign. All right, Sasha, what else we got?
Along with that, the post hole digger was discussed earlier in the year, but they borrowed one from Waitsfield to get the signs put up that they did. Is that something you guys are?
Do you know how much we can put that on the list here? What's the postal there? Or is that?
There was 2 quotes, and they are in my office somewhere.
So why don't tomorrow we can dig those out, and maybe with even the law enforcement, or maybe there might be some money that we can put that under this year if that's something that we feel that
is needed.
That's all I have.
All right, Kevin, all right.
Not much other than just, I really think there needs to be a solid plan with that capital plan. And then doing ours, I mean, we're having a reserve planning thing done, staffing assessments, asset management.
So who was the group that came in, or who came in and did it, you know?
Stone Shore, I think. I mean, Ron's great. I mean, they go through all your policies, they meet with all your staff, talk about needs. I mean, not just needs now, but needs 20 years down the road.
So could you get some information about them, maybe the next meeting, bring it to share with us, and maybe we could get someone from there to come in and talk to us about why we need that, you know? Or why that would be good for us, because, like I said, we just don't know what we don't know. Just maybe have someone come in.
And then you have that planning, so you're not taking out loans on vehicles. You get a truck, you buy the truck, you're done. You're not spending all that interest going out.
Right, I mean, that's, again, best case scenario, depending on what you have for revenues and such as well. Or, you know, or again, I guess at that point you start in your annual budget, you need to make sure you have that
You're
money.
planning for it, you have a budget for it, and you take the hit that year, but then it's done and you don't have to plan out that interest. Because when you're taking out interest on everything you're buying, yeah, it's 4% here and 5% there, but that adds up over, you know, 3, 4, 5, 10 years. That's when you don't necessarily have to spend.
No, I that's the value there. But we need to be kind of pushed in the right direction or in the direction. I think something like that. And then again, I think we do a good job of what we have. I mean, when I first started, it was not a capital budget. And it was like, what do you mean? You know, it's, oh, we just, because there was, at that point, it was right at the end of the dump. Oh, we just get dump money and we just buy stuff. And we had 20 years of dump money, and if we had done it correctly, we wouldn't be in these positions that we're now. But I mean, hindsight's 20/20, so. But going forward, we can probably do it a little better.
We would still have.
Yeah, we should still. Well, maybe we can have the dump again. Mike, you have anything you want to share with us here?
I don't think so. I don't have anything else.
I don't think there's really, like, just working, oh, shucks, we do have, tonight before we have to go back into executive session, I have the Piazza stuff, that we worked on last time. So we want to take a look at that. But other than that, the compensation thing, I'm just looking at old business stuff. I think everything else is good below. We have the meeting minutes here. Why don't we go ahead and approve those for 10/20/2025?
Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from October 20th, 2025.
Second.
Any other discussion on those? All right, so none, all in favor? Aye, thank you. And I think we're good with new and old business. I don't think there's anything else anyone wants to bring up. Sasha, do you have anything else for us at all? All right, so I move to go into executive session and discuss the legal matters here. And it'll be just us three, I guess. And no thing going afterwards, so you guys can leave. Yep. Okay, I'll second.